Hello, my name is Regina Miller, and it's Friday. I have a very good, interesting salon talk for you today. Today, we're going to talk about having the home salon versus the brick and mortar salon. How do you feel about working from home? The pros and cons of working from your home versus going to a salon. Let's get into it. So, I am going to talk about my experience because that's what I do here on Salon Talk. I share my experiences with you, and you share yours with mine in the comments. So I started my career as a braider, right? And this is before I got licensed. And I was doing braids in the house. My children were small, so I didn't really believe in daycare. So I wanted to do something where I could be with my children until it was time to go to beauty school and get my license. So I figured by the time my children was of age to go to kindergarten, I would start beauty school. This way they're in school, I'm in school. Didn't really like daycare. So I did the braid thing. So of course I was living in my parents' home at the time with my children, just relocating from New York to South Carolina. And so I decided, I said, let me do braids in the house, make some money. I was making about $300 a day in my mother's home. So I would do 3 heads a day. I was charging $100 back then. That was a lot of money. $300 a day was a lot of money in Sumter, South Carolina. Okay, people were making $300 a week. I was making it a day in the kitchen. Okay, doing braids. So my dad, he came to me and he said, it's hair everywhere. It's hair. When I take a shower, it's hair in the shower. He was like, daughter, he said, it's time for you to go to beauty school. He said, you cannot do hair at home. And this was what my dad told me. He said, the world cannot see you in this house. He said, you are talented, you are good. He said, if you can make this kind of money in the house, you need to go and out to the world and make even more money so you can take care of my grandchildren as a single mother. My dad was a very detrimental part in my career and how I went to beauty school. He helped me with my children, even though I didn't want to put them in daycare. My dad was the dad that said, hey, go to beauty school. I'll pick them up when I get off work from daycare. He said, I'll make sure everything's good. They're not going to bother my grandkids. He said, they're going to see my face when they can't see your face. My mom agreed to the same thing. I was living in a 2-parent home, so I had the support system that I needed. My parents' major thing was for me to be a successful single teen mom. And so my pros is you can do it. You can do it if you want to do it. The cons is it's your home. It's your peace. It's your love. It's your sanctuary. It's your sanity. You don't want all kind of people running up and through your house. I didn't like it. My dad didn't like it. My mother got to the point where she didn't like it. You talking about, I used to do my first client at 6 a.m., my second client probably at 2 p.m., and my last client probably at 7 p.m. So all day. And then if I didn't do 3 people, I did 2 people. My goal was to make $200 to $300 a day. I charged everybody $100. $100. I was doing micro braids at the time. That's all I was doing was the small micro braids with the human hair. I was charging $100. That was a steal coming from New York and representing that hairstyle to the people in South Carolina. I was catering to Shaw Air Force Base, the military people. They loved it. I'm talking, one thing I love about military clients, they go and they tell other people and they tell other people and they share, and they don't mind saying so-and-so did my hair. They're not people who be like, I don't want everybody to know who did my hair. No, the military people, they going back into their community and they say, hey, we found somebody, okay? So I was booked. And then it got to the point I was wearing my braids. I started doing my braids. I did my mother braids. I did my kids' braids. So we became a walking billboard, a few family members. And so now you got the community. Who did your hair? Who did your hair? Oh, that's nice. That's like they was not doing that style in that town. So here you go. So the pros is you can make a lot of money at home. You don't have to pay for overhead, booth rent, brick and mortar building. All your money is yours. You know what I'm saying? The con is ding dong, ding dong, ding dong. What I call it. The disrespect of your home. The time that you want to take a break, these people know where you live. Your peace is obstructed. You having a cookout, people pulling up. Your kids in the yard, people pulling up. Do you have room for me? Can you fit me in on woo 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 and do woo woo woo? You don't want that at your house. You don't want strangers from all over the world in your house. You just don't. Even if you have it separate from your house and you have a house in the back of your house, it's still on your property. It's still on your land. They still pulling up. And I want to talk about this conversation, and I want everybody to chime in who hears this conversation. I want you to share this conversation with your friends, your stylists, your salon owners. Let's talk about this, because there's some good stories that people feel, okay, I want to work in my house. It was the best thing that ever happened to me. I want to hear your story. And then there's some people like me, it's the in and out. It was good and it was bad, but I choose to stay outside because for me, I want it to be business versus personal. I feel like if it stays in the business realm, I will be more peace. I will be more okay with my client. It will be no confusion. But when you mix business with personal, it can become a problem. And it just depends on the clientele that you have, the rules that you have. But let me tell you something, even with rules, if they come into your house, baby, they pulling up. They pulling up. So it just got to where I didn't want to disrespect my parents' home. And after that experience, going to beauty school and getting licensed, I didn't even do braids no more after I got my license, because you're talking 10 months in beauty school, baby. I came out of beauty school. I was doing braids, hair, weave, cuts, color, perms, everything, relaxers. I was doing everything that you can do with hair after I got my license. And I certainly didn't want to do all that in the house, because that requires chemicals and all kind of stuff. You got to get licensed from state board to work in your house. Like, I didn't want to do that. I wanted, when I got out of beauty school, I wanted that brick and mortar. I wanted the satisfaction of knowing I have a salon. I have somewhere where my clients can come and get their hair services, and everybody just come get their hair done and go home. I didn't want to deal no longer with my house being the place. So if you can understand that and you can relate to that, or ever how you feel, let's talk about it. Thank you for watching another episode of Salon Talk. You all have an amazing weekend. I'll be back Monday.